electronic searching tips. When searching, remember to use many different keywords. Start with the search on your narrow topic, then on your general subject, and then with keywords reflecting your theoretical approach, your methodology, or your discipline. Keywords in your discipline could reveal journals that are not devoted to your subject, but that might be interested in publishing your article. In other words, topic is not your only way into a journal. Slight variations in keywords can make a difference in finding suitable journals. An example could illustrate it. A student had written an article on conversation analysis and biosemiotics, 生物符号学, and was feeling discouraged because he only knew 3 suitable journals, 2 of which were pretty obscure, the last of which was very competitive. Journal of Consciousness Studies, Cybernetics and Human Knowing, and Semiotica. But he was in the philosophy department. He really wanted his article to be published in a philosophy journal, not a linguistics journal. First, he searched for conversation analysis. Then, he did an advanced keyword search philosophy on Ahrefs. As a result, philosophy journals returned over 160 refereed journals. So, he narrowed his search to semiotics. This turned up Applied Semiotics, which was a web-based online journal. Social Semiotics, which seemed to publish more social activist articles than his. An American Journal of Semiotics, which had 2 or 3 scholars on the editorial board whom he knew. So, he was able to add the last journal to his list. Then, he accidentally came across a journal called Social Epistemology, 社会认识论, which publishes articles about the social production of knowledge. He had not really thought about his article as epistemological, but it was definitely about the social production of knowledge. And so, he started doing keyword searches. With epistemology and knowledge, and another 30 journals were found. If you don't spend time doing an electronic search for suitable journals, you will have missed an opportunity not only to increase your chances of publication, but also to expand your search. Make sure you take this essential step. From this semester on, I require my students to search for journals in their fields. They used my way to get involved in searching. As a result, they could come up with many kinds of journals in their fields. They can identify the levels of journals and do researches on the features of journals, and they know what kind of journals their papers could match. Some are top journals with potential influence even in the world. Some were created by graduates, but still with a long history and status. Attracting papers written by distinguished professors in this field. And some are newly published journals which were published abroad. For example, in economics, there are 5 top journals. First, American Economic Review. Second, Econometrica. Third, Journal of Political Economy. Fourth, Quarterly Journal of Economics. Fifth, Review of Economic Studies. You cannot give up, while you should firmly believe that there must be journals which can help you by providing space for your paper to be published. If you use all these search techniques, you could find more journals than you imagine. From learning about journal types, you need to shift the focus to publish papers in peer-reviewed journals recently or in the near future. But sometimes you are still haunted by the doubts on publishing part of your researches early or the whole research later. Publishing research articles in a particular field rather than discipline? What if these requirements hardly narrow your choices? What if you are still left with dozens of journals? Faced with these doubts, what will you do? There is one way, that is to rank the journals you have found. You need to know how will your advisors, labs, or universities weigh the importance of peer-reviewed journal where your article appeared. In the field of literature, academic journals with impact factor of 0.3 could be regarded as the top ones. But in science, influence factor of top journals would be much higher. Do advisors in your field speak well of the journal? Do they refer to it as a leading journal or a first-tier journal? Is there any tendency that the journal begins to accept papers referring to interdisciplinary researches? In fact, there are all qualitative signs that journals in humanities have a good reputation. Good reputations of a journal tend to depend on the prestige of the editor, editorial board, and authors, as well as the past, present, and perceived future impact of the journal on the field. In sciences, including social sciences, journals are usually ranked quantitatively. That is, by rigorously collecting and analyzing data about the influence of the journal. The major source for information on journal ranking is journal citation reports, which reports on a journal's rank and impact factor. Rank is calculated from dividing the number of citations a journal's papers received in 1 year by papers the journal published in the 2 previous years. 排名的计算方法是将1年内收到的期刊论文被引用的次数除以该期刊前2年发表的论文。Impact is calculated from how often a journal's articles are cited in the literature and for how long its articles are cited after they are published. 影响力是根据期刊的文章在文献中被引用的频率以及文章发表后被引用的时间来计算的。专门有一个网址供大家查阅期刊影响因子。Now, let's look at some examples. The New England Journal of Medicine is often ranked first or second of all journals, having an impact factor of over 50 10 years ago. More than half of all journals have a rank of under 1. Likewise, the Journal of Biological Chemistry was cited an astounding more than 400,000 times, although its impact factor was 5.8. So, when you choose a journal, you need to put its impact factor and citation into consideration. 哈佛法学院有10几种各类法律方面的期刊，都是由学生编辑出版发行的。其中1887年，哈佛法学院一位名叫 J. McKinley 3年级学生创刊的 Harvard and Law Review 哈佛法学评论，则是其中最古老、最有分量的期刊。它是从11月份到6月份发行的月刊。它的影响因子达到 4.979。这本期刊一方面为学生提供了一个舞台，让他们得以训练自己在法学领域的研究与写作能力。另一方面，也为法官和法学研究者们提供了一个园地，用以讨论法学相关的议题。该刊被认为是目前引用率最高的学生法学评论期刊。Of course, the very fact that the journal is listed in journal citation reports is a sign that the journal is in the preferred publishing outlet category. You can find these journal rankings posted online. Many other factors can figure into ranking a journal. For instance, the higher the number of subscribers, the better the ranking of the journal. In the humanities, journals with more than 500 institutional and individual subscribers are respectable. Journals having a readership of over 1,000 are considered strong. Journals can have tens of thousands of subscribers. However, especially if they are automatically sent to all the members of an association. Other factors in ranking the journal are the journal's funding, publisher, age, authors, board, and so on. Remember that picking a journal with a very high rank may not be the wise decision. Many graduate students maybe were told to send their papers to the leading journal. If it gets rejected, send it to the second leading journal. If it gets rejected again, send it to the third, and so on. You were informed that you may have to experience many failures before getting published, but at least you started at the top. I don't think it's a good choice. Firstly, the term leading journal is a bit vague. In which field? In which discipline? Most of graduate students, or even some outstanding undergraduates, lack of competitiveness in the academic research compared with experienced scholars. Even though some leading journals with high rejection rates are better reviewed, better copy edited, and better written, the researches by students largely cannot support this. The status of the journal you publish your article in may matter more to your career than your article's content. But there is no point sending your work to a journal that doesn't publish that type of work. For instance, the leading linguistics journal, Brain and Language, really publishes linguistics analysis of single texts. When they do, it is because the analysis is so original or so global that they make an exception. Usually, they accept papers related to languages and neural network. The papers cross disciplines. To be specific, if your research has a wide range referring to the hot topics in today's world, instead of focusing on the specific topic, the possibility that papers are accepted may be higher. For some journals, with hundreds of submissions a year, the editors are looking for something broader. If you do careful research on a leading journal, figuring out that their publication is like yours, and decide to send your article there, you will have full support. But I don't want you to send your article to a journal just because someone told you it was a leading one. This path will not ensure you early success. Generally, make sure you pick a peer-reviewed journal, not conference proceedings, a new journal, not a brand new one, and so on.